Hey, what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here from GuitarJams.com. The last lesson I did on this channel was talking about playing up and down the neck and knowing the roots everywhere. It's very, very important. But what I'm going to do in this lesson is I'm going to show one of the more unusual pentatonic spots, and just some of my little, ways I think about it, and some tricks and all that. Also, you can practice this stuff over jam tracks, which is the best way to work on this stuff, is a context to play it over. I'm actually going to leave a link for my free MP3 jam tracks right in that link down there. Totally free, and you can practice this stuff over it. It's great. Let's zoom in and break it down. Here we go. All right, so I'm not going to give this like a box name, like box 3, box 4, none of that. I'm going to take our home row pentatonic. We're in the key of E, so I'm playing the E minor pentatonic, perfect for the... all that kind of stuff. The home row, I'm going to show it to you right up here, the root, important, the roots. The 12th fret on the low E. So you should already be very comfortable with this one right here if you want to do this lesson. It's not going to hurt you to watch it though, but you got to have a decent grasp on your main one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go a position below, but still in the same key, E minor pentatonic. And first thing I'm going to do in kind of the next hand position down, I'm going to just look for the roots. We have that. And now we're in this spot. So this is going to be a thing that you can slide down to while you're using all your favorite licks in E. Ooh, and you'll get new ideas out of it. It'll spark new ideas. Okay, so the roots in this position right here, and remember the key of E, we've got that 12th fret still. So the 12th fret on the high E, and the 12th fret on the low E. So that's how we're kind of plugging this spot in or visualizing it. The other one's going to be on the 9th fret of the G string. So look at the distance from our home row to that root down there. So it's a whole step and a half step below. So if you're looking at that spot of our home row, then it's obvious that the position below is going to look like this. Okay, so it's the root right there on the 9th fret. You got another root on the 12th fret, and another root on the 12th fret here. Now let's just go across the shape. It almost looks like the opposite of this shape. So we've got 10 to 12, 10 to 12 on the low E and the A. And I first teach students this position by just those two strings and then sliding into the home row. And I still recommend you do that, but it's good to know if you stayed here what you would need to do to keep going across and stay in this spot of the neck. So it's 10, 12, 10, 12, then 9, 12, 9, 12. Now look at those two long ones right next to each other. Well, I know that there's two long ones in my favorite position. Hey, what do you know? They're the exact same notes, an octave lower. Just food for thought. Ooh, so any licks that I normally do high, I can find new ideas by just exploring that. Okay, so we've got 10, 12, 10, 12, 9, 12, 9, 12, then 10, 12, 10, 12. 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 9, 12, 9, 12, 10, 12, 10. But it'll feel complete when you play the scale and end it on a root note. Oops, I screwed up. Okay, another thing about this is the E major pentatonic home row is actually in this position. So when we talk about mixing the major and minor, this is actually a great spot for that. Here's the E major pentatonic. It looks the exact same as the E minor pentatonic, but it's played down here, but with E still as the root. So it would be... And the reason this is not the C sharp minor pentatonic, even though it is all the same notes, is that we're using this pool of notes with the E's as the root still. So shapes can share multiple scales when you change the root, and that refers to a mode kind of idea. But we're just doing the pentatonic. So the E major pentatonic, the E minor pentatonic in the same spot. So a really kind of common thing is to take this part of the major pentatonic, which would be, the 9 and the 11, and then you got the root right there. You could just use that part of the major and then the rest of the minor. Just as one thought, E majory kind of solo, you could do all in the E major pentatonic, and then just to change the mood of that majory solo, you could go to the minor kind of at the end to change the mood. So I just changed the last few little phrases there. Okay, back to the minor pentatonic right there. The blues note is actually the 11th fret of the B string. So you have this whole thing below your normal home row. Right below it, looking at it by where the root is, you have 10-12 or 12-10, and then 12-11-10. All right, now to just break it down, if this is way over your head, that's okay. I'm going to tell you where to go if this is just, beyond you right now. Basically, you want to get comfortable with the regular minor pentatonic that pretty much every guitar player learns, where the root of the key that you're jamming in is on this E string, and then you play this shape. That combination of notes can actually be played anywhere on the guitar, and we kind of usually learn them in 5 spots. I showed you in this lesson the next spot that's just right below it, so you can practice it, and it's the exact same scale that you can connect up to this one, so you start flowing, because people tend to learn these little shapes, and it sounds kind of more geometric than musical. So when you start combining positions together and sliding up and going down and traveling up and down the neck, you tend to be able to get more musical. It's not only being able to play up and down the neck, but anyway, you want to get the first shape, and then this one is below it. And it would be 10, 12, 10, 12, 9, 12, 9, 12, 10, 11, 12, because we got a nice blues note right there, and then 10, 12 on the high E. And it's a weird transition on the high E and B, and then having to slide back to the 9 of the G and the D. So what you can do is you can do ring, index, ring, index, ring, index, and stretch your index down, or you can set your pinky up on that 12 of the G. And there's going to be instances where either one will be a good idea. And then the final thing that I do in this spot, I have another video just straight up on it, is this little like octave double stop vibe. And so what I'm doing is I'm just holding this high E with my middle finger, or you can also do a pick and middle finger, or I do sometimes thumb and middle finger. And I'm just so every note I hit in the scale, I just add that with it. So the first one is the index, the root, the index on the 9th fret of the G. And then I'm stretching it back, which can be a little tricky, 8th fret of the B string. And it's just the notes of the minor pentatonic. So this keeps going, and then it's 9 on the G, 8 on the B, 10 on the B, 12 on the B, plus the blues note sliding in or back. Again, real slow. Or middle finger. G string on the 12 right there while I'm still holding that. And if you're just like, that's impossible, I remember that same feeling, and what I did was I tried not to think too far ahead of how impossible it seemed, and just started with the octave. Maybe I added one. Added another one. You see what I mean? You got to build it up. So anyway, work on this position as a way to have somewhere to go in that kind of main position that everyone does. right, hope you got something from that. Remember, I got the free MP3 jam tracks right down there. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll see you in another one of these lessons real soon. Take care.